Hey, and welcome to Derelict, map 9 of Duke Nukem 3D's The Birth, and this is the penultimate level of this episode. As you can see, we're on the ship that we saw at the end of the last level, and you can see that's the level exit there. So immediately we know where we're heading, but we have to get there first. So, the thing with the opening to this level is it's absolutely a nightmare if you are pistol starting, and that needs to be said out loud because it is a nightmare. All these enemies can come and attack you. There's a whole bunch of enemies up top. I want to try and get rid of as many of these octobrains as possible. Missed. But it's not just the octobrains, there's sharks down here. There's a few other enemies as well. There's some cannons above there. It's a bit of a mess, and we're going to have to work our way through it. Definitely going to want that shotgun ammo. There's a little secret here. It gives us a chain gun, which is what we're going to use. I'm going to try and get these guys to drop into the water there. There we go. So if you let them drop into the water, they sort of sink to the bottom. They don't really pose much of a threat unless you go to the bottom, but you can see they are trying to shoot me, so, you know, threat there. So yeah, this is the ship we saw at the end of the last level, and it's run aground. It's dropped its core into, or drill or whatever that thing is, into the ocean, and we have to stop that. So you got to be careful here because this area is susceptible to lightning strikes. And what that means is that when we step onto this red light here, we have to wait a few seconds for this claw to come and get us, which also leaves us vulnerable to attack from behind and from the front, so that's nice. So when we get up top here, there is a portable medkit there, there's some RPG ammo, and there's some pistol ammo, all of which we're going to be needing. Grab the shotgun here. So I'm just going to thin out the herd here, because there's a lot of enemies, and the problem with this level is that there's a lot of enemies who will just attack you out of nowhere. There's a lot of rooms with a lot of enemies. As you can see, those flying pig cops there are not showing us any mercy. What I'm going to do here, we're just going to blow these pig cops out of the sky. So there are some cannons inside those windows there. That's what's shooting at us quite frequently. I want to get rid of these guys because I'll come back later in the level potentially and kill them. But I don't want them flying around because, you know, it's kind of annoying. There we go. So you have to jump over here. There are 2 atomic elves, 1 on each side. When you come inside, there's a whole bunch of enemies waiting for us here. So let's get rid of as many of these guys as we can. Ammo is going to be pretty scarce at the opening of this level, so we're going to need to be careful here. Inside the door here. I am going to take my time here. Get rid of these enemies one at a time, because if they all start swarming towards the door, they're just going to hurt me. Excellent. So we get the shrink ray here. We'll be needing that as we progress through the level, definitely. So grabbing that spawns these 3 enemies here. Like I said, this level is pretty aggressive with its enemy counts, and it's also a very long level as well, so it's got both of those going for it. We'll take care of you on the stairs. So we can go either up or down here. I'm going to head down here because there's a bunch of goodies down here that we really want to get our hands on. We've got Hollow Duke there. Probably not going to make use of that. But getting the ammo for the expander is kind of important for later on. So when we head in here, this is a pretty nasty room in itself. There's a bunch of enemies in here. There's a few explosives dotted around. We need to be very careful because it's very easy to get overwhelmed if you're not careful. So I'm going to make use of the shrink ray here. Ooh, 2 for 1 there. Very nice. So one thing about this level, when I was trying to do a previous attempt on this level, when I shrank those enemies there, they actually didn't shrink properly, so I wasn't able to squish them, but it kept flying around, so it was constantly chasing me through the level. That's kind of how glitched up this level can get. And there's nothing worse than an enemy that just will not die, let me tell you. We've got the Devastator here. Now, this should help us out with clearing out a lot of these enemies. So yeah, one thing we need to talk about with this level is the fact that these protector drones are everywhere. And when I say everywhere, you'll see what I mean as we make our way through the level, because there's not just 1 or 2 of them, there's a whole army of them on this one. And there's another one behind this wall here. If you don't like protector drones, this is the level not for you. So we open up that there in the middle. You can drop down and... oh, see, there's another one. You can drop down and get an atomic health from the lowest floor, which is what we'll be doing a bit later on. First I want to get rid of all these enemies. We'll head down the steps here. So now that we have the blue key card, we can move into the next part of the level here. Still a bunch of enemies in this corridor here. I can hear an enemy, but we can head back outside here if we really want to. So what's kind of funny is if you choose not to kill the pig cops, they just end up walking around on the water there. Because the pig cops aren't usually meant to be able to go into the water. You don't usually see the pig cops in water. So they don't really sink, they just kind of walk around on top of it, which is pretty fun. You can see there's 2 more protector drones at the bottom of this corridor. We're going to get rid of them. There we go. But we are not done, because no, there's actually 1 down here. There's actually 2 down there. Oh god. Luckily we're going to use the... hello. They're going to eat for us, and they're going to destroy them, so, you know, it's going to save me some precious ammo there, which is not a bad thing. The yellow door's to the right there, but we can't actually pass through that right now, because obviously we need the yellow key card. We'll be coming back here a bit later on, so don't worry, we will be going through there. I think one of those things has gone through the floor. Like I said, this level is very glitchy, and enemies can sometimes just fall through the seams in the levels. Oh, thought I'd blown them up, hadn't. It's blown up the cannon at the end of the corridor here. Be careful, because if you go past these doors, a bunch of cannons will come out of the wall. Oh, okay. There we go. So they can be very devastating in tight spaces like this, so it was kind of important we got rid of it. There is a secret here with the portable med kit, which we will be needing, definitely. So as we head over here, we come to the living quarters for the crew. Some chain gun ammo behind there. It's also marked as a secret, so very important we grab that. As we make our way into this room here, there is a bunch of ammo that we're going to grab in a second. That'll be very useful. It's worth doing this now because the next room we're going to go into is pretty nasty. So, as I said, when you walk past that line dev there, you end up with a bunch of cannons. Don't want them taking too much health off you. As soon as you step into this room, you're attacked by another protector drone. But don't worry, if you thought one protector drone in here was a lot, there's another one right there. And just for good measure, there's a third one on the other side of this massive king-size bed. I assume this is the captain's quarters. Grab the red keycard. There's actually a secret switch behind that clock there. Don't want to know what the captain was doing with all this stuff. We're just going to, you know, walk on by that. You can see these nice little decorative items here. So now that we have the red keycard, we can actually move into the next part of this level. I do want to just kind of show off that the sound doesn't travel between the floors here, because obviously this is different sectors. So, you know, if you've not killed all the enemies in the previous sector, you won't know about it. This level, like I said, has a lot of issues, and you can see here one of these enemies has crawled into the space above the level, and it's following me around, but we can't actually kill it, and you're going to be hearing it a fair bit, I reckon. So there's another protector drone through the red door here. We got to be careful in this area because there are some protector drones that will attack us as soon as we get to the bottom of this ramp. So you got to prepare for that. Do like the use of lighting in here. It's really cool. So there are two protector drones who are trying to attack us here. I think we can only see one at the minute, but I'm pretty convinced we'll see the second one imminently. There he is. So you don't want to get shrunk in this room. If you get shrunk in here, it will just squish you because it's a pretty easy jump for it. There's another protector drone here. Gonna use the expander ammo here. I don't like using the expander all that much when we're playing through Duke Nukem 3D, but in certain situations like this where we don't have much in the way of ammo, really can't complain all that much. Grab the shotgun here. There's another one here. There is also a battle lord in that room there. I think there's a protector drone walking around it as well, so we've got to take care of those two things together. Yeah. Push you. So when we come up to these boxes here, there are a bunch of things we can grab. We can grab the yellow keycard, there's some pipe bombs on top, and there's an atomic health behind the flames on the other side there, so quite a lot to grab. I think this is supposed to be like the generator room for this ship. You just watch that protector drone crush himself in the wall there. Again, this level is quite jank, so you will find enemies escape the level, get crushed by the level by escaping. It's a very interesting level, let's put it that way. So as we head inside the yellow door here, I'm going to kill all of these enemies, but first I've got to attract them all, and I'd rather deal with them all in one go. So what I'm going to do, we're just going to wake them all up, and then we're just going to blow them all to smithereens. You can see I've drawn a lot of attention here, so you've got to be really careful. You've got to keep your eyes on everyone when you're doing this kind of thing. But I'd rather deal with them in here than in the other room. Gonna use the night vision here just so I can see where the enemies are, because sometimes the enemies like to hide like that up top, and it can be quite nasty when they jump you. And the night vision goggles does a nice job of highlighting them for me. Ow. we're going to squish you and then head back in here. So I think that thing is still in the room which it shot out of. So we'll head over here in a second and finish it off. Just making sure we've got all the enemies sorted out here. So I'm going to use the shrink ray here. Goodness me. Oh wow, he actually got grabbed by the claw there and got dragged away. I don't know where he's gone here, so let's see if we can find it. There we go. That was pretty funny, not gonna lie.
Come get some.
We grab the shotgun ammo. So behind this box here, there's a big secret, but we're gonna head over here and I'm going to destroy the enemies over here first, I think. I think this is the best play here. We are approaching the end of this level, but the end of this level is pretty horrifying if you're not ready for it, so let's blow you up with a pipe bomb. Oh, lovely. Almost got blasted in the face there. Excellent. So we got to be really careful here. We don't have much in the way of health or armor. So if this thing gets a shot off on me, probably going to be curtains for me. Lovely. We need those boots. Definitely going to want those boots when we go into this next part of the level. So as we make our way around here, I'm just looking for health. Because the next part of this level pretty much dictates we need at least 50 health. I'd like as much as we can get, but obviously we're having a bit of trouble finding health here at the minute, so I guess we're just going to have to see what we can find up here. You also want to be careful with the barrels here. They do blow up. They're all explosive, so if you do accidentally blow them up, they will cause damage to you if you're too close. So we need to talk about this stuff here. There is health there. Excellent. I'm actually going to save here. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is not the first attempt at this in this run. And with some slick editing, you wouldn't have noticed. But look at how quickly your boots go down there. Just look at that. And then look how fast it takes your health down. It's an extreme pain floor. Not used very often in Duke Nukem. But it's used here, and it'll be used in the next level, so it's not a nice thing, let's be honest. I'm not a fan of it, because it does feel a bit cheap, especially at the end of such a brutal level. You can use this switch here to allow access to the previous part of the level. So there is some stuff inside the water there, but I also have trouble getting out of the water sometimes, so we're not going to jump in there. We're going to take care of all these enemies here. So this is pretty much the final room of this level, but as you can see there's a whole bunch of enemies, and down bottom there's a whole bunch more enemies, so we've just got to make sure that we take our time here. We don't rush it. We don't have the best amount of health, so I'm going to make use of the pipe bombs here to thin out the herd. By doing this, we're killing a lot of the enemies down there, and we're making it a lot easier for us to use the shrink ray on the Battle Lord. Well, let's see if we can get this done. So we've grabbed the atomic health there. You can see there isn't really much else here. So you can actually see we're actually inside that green structure we saw at the start of the level. There's also a whole bunch of octobrains here just waiting to attack us. So we could go back to the start of the level and kill all those enemies in the water, because you can look back there and see the start of the level. Not going to do that because, frankly, it's going to be a pain to get back there. and honestly not worth it in my opinion. So yeah, we can just exit this level. Derelict is a very interesting penultimate level. It's a real challenge. Let's see how many deaths we got. Oh wow, we got all the deaths. I know we didn't kill all those things at the start, but I guess the level kind of counts it for us because it feels sorry for me. But anyway, as you can see, this is quite a long level, lots of enemies, and a lot to explore. This reminds me of the Living End from Doom 2, a spike in difficulty right at the end that I suspect was here to kind of catch out a lot of the players who may have been sleepwalking through the last few levels. This was a really tough one, and it took a few attempts for me to even get close to the end of this one without dying. A lot of the runs I've seen on YouTube didn't pistol start this one, and there's a good reason for that. It's kind of nasty, and the level doesn't give you an oxygen mask, so it really doesn't make things easier for you. So, what's your opinion on Derelict? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's a great penultimate level, or do you think it's a bit too much? Let me know in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.